when I first took communion, the first time over here at Calvary Baptist, I saw the matzah, and I heard the pastor say, "Take it, eat." I got excited. Wow, it's matzah, like it was a Passover. And they were, shh, quiet. And so I realized you can't speak up in church as you can in synagogue. But so we decided what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see of all the stuff that's true at my father's table, and it's true of Passover in general. So we looked at all the ultra-Orthodox books, very, very liberal, very reformed books, and we came up with a generic Passover. It wasn't true of the other two. Third thing that makes Passover unique is that it's a backward look and a forward look. All the other holidays have one perspective or the other, but Passover has a dual perspective. Leaven is rising, it's putting your hands in God's dough, it's arrogance, it's man's good work, and so it's a picture of sin. And they want to get that out of the house in preparation for the celebration. 4 cups are symbolic of the 4 promises God gave our ancestors back in Exodus chapter 6, verses 4 through 6. The Jewish men will go off to a corner and they'll wash their hands and they'll say to the Jews, that middle compartment is I want you to take the matzah, that middle piece of matzah, and break it pretty much in half. And you notice matzah is perforated, so don't fight it. Break it on, tear on the perforation. Now, if one of the pieces is larger than the other, replace the larger one back between the 2 holes.
You have to eat all the insects, so make sure you just grab one.
Dip it in the salted water.
Dip it in the salt water.
It's nice and salty, and put it in your mouth. Okay?
Okay, just put it in your mouth.
Well, now, interestingly, the Haggadah never tells you what to do once it's in your mouth. I suggest you chew it up and swallow it. All right? It's what you got in the deliverance of Jewish people out of Egypt. Anybody can think? Yeah.
The bitterness.
Man. Now, if life with cheese is good, then you're going to love this. Take a piece of matzah and reach down into the cup that has it.
Awesome.
Lean to the left. You're doing better. And so they sacrificed things up until 70 CE. When the temple was destroyed, we stopped sacrificing, and now we have to symbolize our sacrificing with Jewish people came in to bring a lamb into their homes, a male without blemish, without spot, and it was brought into the house and was examined for 4 days to make sure it was absolutely perfect. On the afternoon of the 14th of the month, they would take that lamb and they would kill it. And they would take the blood of that lamb and they would put it up on top of the doorposts and on the 2 sides of the house, and they were drawing, as the blood ran down the door, they were drawing bloody crosses. Can you imagine that? They were drawing a bloody cross with the blood of the lamb. And then they would take that lamb and they would roast it with fire, sod it out with water, and everything pertaining to the lamb had to be totally consumed that night in preparation of Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is Sabbath day. What's the lesson that we're supposed to learn from this one? That the only thing that saved your life was the application of shed blood of the Lamb of God on a bloody cross. Think about that. Think about that. Now, the last thing about this, remember we had another lamb. This lamb, not a bone in this lamb's body was to be broken. And I asked the rabbi, and God bless, I love this man. He's very, very, very sincere, beautiful man. And I said to him, Rabbi, why do you think they were not supposed to break a bone of the lamb's body? And the rabbi stopped, and he thought, and he said, I guess to be merciful. I hate making fun of people that are nice. But think about it. This lamb is a picture of another lamb, who also comes out from the sheep and the goats on the 10th of the month and enters into Jerusalem. A male in the prime of his life, who's examined for 4 days to make sure he's perfect, without blemish, without spot. On the afternoon of the 14th of Nisan, which is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that lamb was also slain on that bloody symbol. And that lamb had to be moved in preparation for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the Sabbath day tomorrow. Nothing pertaining to the land was permitted to remain. Now they came by to break the legs of the other men on the cross to make sure that they were dead. When it came to the Messiah Jesus, they didn't break his legs because he had already dismissed his life. So what's so important about that? You see, if they broke Jesus' legs, then you could say that's the guy who killed Jesus. By virtue of breaking his legs, he forbids the Lord to push up and to breathe, and he's the man who actually was responsible for killing the Lord. If somebody killed Jesus, then his death wasn't...
Look at this. Chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans for those who got there early on. Good. Everyone, we're having our Passover meal together. Kosher chicken from Redner's.
Piece of matzah that Jesus took, and he said, "This is my body, give it for you." Now, my father would take this piece of matzah. It's called the afikomen. It's the only Greek word used in all of Jewish liturgy, and it has some kind of form of the verb to be. I think it's over the years the Aramaic language has been twisted up a little bit. I think at one time it was saying he who was and is to come. And that's what that meant, afikomen, but it's an acronym of those two words. In any case, we were instructed to break it into olive-sized pieces. And my dad would take this, and my father would say, "Take and eat." Can you imagine that? My father would say, "Take and eat." I had no connection with the New Testament, no connection with Christianity, and for all the years I was going on, my father would say, "It's broken and buried and raised up on the third cup, second person of triune God." Now, I also started to say straight, I want you to take the matzah and hold it up to my candle or to the light. And if you look at the lamp, look at the light, you'll see the light behind the matzah. And the reason you can do that is because the matzah has holes in it, and the holes are arranged in stripes. Someday, if we can ever really arrange this, someday, a week or so before Passover, I'd like to take a group of these guys to the Lubavitcher Center in Brooklyn, New York. It's the last thing permitted to be eaten for going to bed, so it's taste remain uppermost in the mouth. This is the sacrifice lamb. Jesus said, "This is my body." Meat of the Passover sacrifice, striped, pierced, broken, buried, sinless and perfect, second person triune God, raised up on the third cup. What an amazing picture of Messiah And there was a perfectly good empty chair at the head table. And I was thinking, why can't somebody sit at the head table? Like Bobby, Grant, I don't care. I'll just get to a little more room. And they said, "Well, that's for Elijah." Well, I learned better to ask questions because I don't want to go back before Rabbi Dromage blast. So I figured, I'm going to figure this one out myself. Now, I heard that Uncle Sam was complaining about the traffic on the Long Island Expressway coming in from Long Island. So I figured, I bet you I got an uncle named Elijah. I never heard he had to save you, who died and gave himself for us. And good looking is looking forward to a crown. And recognize the sufferings of the present time are worthy compared to the glory shall be revealed in us. And so the fourth cup, Jesus said, "I'm not going to drink this cup again with you to my Father's kingdom." The fourth cup looks to a promise. And the promise is, "I'll take you up to be a holy string." Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Orei peri hagafen. Amen.
Maranatha. Drink it up.
Maranatha, even so, come Lord Jesus. Good night, and God bless you.